Did your parents ever give you grief?
Hello. Hello. Good. All right, well, I'll get started. I know we're at the last end, so I'll try to keep you interested here. My name is Aaron Dewald. I'm the director of the Technology Initiative at the Quinney College of Law at the University of Utah. And my presentation today is called Managing the Web and Application Infrastructure. What I'm planning on doing today is telling you a little bit about how we use a custom-built content management system that I'm calling a collegiate management system to interface with our website, and some other things. So I plan on showing you a couple slides and then giving you a demonstration of Joe. And hopefully, what I hope you come away with is to kind of see what we've implemented, see some things that we're doing that may spark some ideas for you that you can take back, integrate into your management system or onto your website, or give you some ideas to come up with some cool things too. And feel free to ask questions at any time, or send me an email or anything like that if you have further questions past this. All right, so website plus Joe equals a happy Aaron. That's basically what I'm telling you here. So, okay, so what we'll cover is kind of our quest for a dynamic website, where we came from, and why we decided to develop this. We'll talk a little bit about the history and development of Joe. We'll talk about what Joe does for us and how it interfaces with our website and kind of works into the stream of things. And then the in-depth demonstration of Joe. And feel free to interrupt me and ask a question if something isn't clear, and I'll do my best to answer for you. Okay, so we begin with the quest for a dynamic website. And I'm sure a lot of you have been in a similar boat to this. Okay, so when I started as the senior application developer a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. Basically, it was a fancy title for webmaster. And what they expected me to do was to get pieces of paper and go on the website and update the content on them. It was great. I loved it for about one day. Okay, so I thought there's got to be a better way to do this, because news is changing all the time. Events are scrolling off every day. There was over 100 pages of content to edit. And when you have, it always works out that everybody decides to change their content on the same day, so you get 20 pieces of paper with content updates, and they're not always clear, and people are gone, and it was maddening. So everything had to be manually updated. Okay, that was a problem. So we thought that introducing a dynamic website was going to be the key of moving forward with our web presence. Make it a little more automatic, more self-service, and make it easy on the webmaster so he doesn't go crazy trying to update all these pages. Okay, but that caused us to rethink our whole web strategy, because when you're building or implementing a content management system, you kind of need to think, you need a plan. How's it going to work? What's it going to do? Who's going to manage, and that sort of thing. And then as we were asking ourselves these questions, we knew we wanted a content management system, but I was actually coming from a job at a bank as an application developer. And I saw a lot of promise for introducing some applications into the college, into the school, to help either day-to-day functions, content management, calendaring, and all that stuff. So we needed to also keep that in mind while we were looking for something not just to manage content on a page, but also student stuff, blogs, and that sort of thing. And one of the other things was we wanted more community involvement with this content management system, so that alumni might be able to post or edit something. Or from the website, I'm sure you've seen blogs have comments so that people can give you their opinion. Right from there, make it easy for them to do. So we had to consider all this stuff. Okay, so we introduced Joe. Now, if you were in my presentation yesterday, we had a product called Dan, and we have Joe. So we like to name our things after 3-letter names. It's great. Joe is actually Joe Quinney, who gave us a substantial amount of money at the school. So Joe Quinney. What Joe is, technically speaking, it's ASP and a MySQL for the database backend. We chose ASP because it's what I knew best. We're really kind of language agnostic. It doesn't matter. We're more interested in getting the tool in its form out to the users rather than what it's programmed in. If we hired another developer who happened to be really, really good at .NET, we might, just see how we can integrate that in there. So I always get boos when I say ASP. We use a lot of AJAX. It's something kind of new. we use the Scriptaculous set for the updating and deletion, and it also provides some animation stuff like drag and drop. Just make it easier. It's really important for the user experience in these content management systems to be good, because it's never, the people wind up that update it are never as technically savvy as the people who create it. So we use that for some ease of use stuff. We have a Windows server. It's 2003. That's what's hosting all of our web apps, our website, and all that stuff. That's what we're using. And it's got 100% TLC, because I've worked on it a lot of hours. So in the beginning, Joe was developed solely, strictly, only as a content management thing. Probably the first week that I went in there, I said we need something to manage the content, because I'm sick of going through all the pages and finding the one that has the content and updating it. So that's really how it started. But it actually grew into more. As we started developing faculty profiles for their biography, their publications, their education and stuff like that, I built an application that managed that. Things start kind of snowballing from there. People say, oh, well, faculty can log in, or secretaries it winds up being, can log in and update somebody's profile. Oh, that's great. Can we make a job board? Well, sure, we can make a job board. So really what it grew into a calendar room reservation system, an alumni directory. Basically what it became was a place where people could log in and we could serve applications to these people. So they're using it as tools, updating the calendar, checking room availability, updating their profile. The alumni directory was a big step, because now alumni could log in and update their information with the school. And we had up-to-date email, address, and all that stuff, instead of just static pages or something out there. So you can see, once people kind of heard, hey, I can log in and update this, so this is great. So people started asking for more. So it got kind of pulled out of the content management side and a little bit more into like a collegiate management thing, where they can go in and update course schedule and stuff like that. Okay, and I know some of you are probably asking, I see where you're going with this. Twen does stuff for classrooms. Facebook does stuff for profiles. Why don't you just use that sort of stuff? Well, yeah, but Joe also is a media encoder and an iTunes importer. It is a calendar and room scheduler. It is a blogging tool. It has a forum. It's a project manager, a news creator, a subscription manager, support, help desk requests, and all that stuff. So we're actually using it as an application server. It deals with all of our media. We actually have something that we wrote in, what was it? Oh, sorry. Bad iPhone. It uses FFmpeg, and it encodes media that's uploaded and puts it into iTunes automatically. So we don't have to do any sort of uploading or dealing with iTunes. We just put it in Joe, and it automatically pushes it out there in MP4, Flash, MP3, that sort of thing. We're using it in the school as a room scheduler, so people can see the availability of rooms and actually see if a room is available at the time, and not actually be dealing with an Outlook calendar or anything where they can go in and screw stuff up. So students can actually use it to reserve their rooms. We try to use blogs on our website, so it's a simple blogging tool for people. It's a forum for discussion. We use it for video discussions. Students are using it to get groups of people together, so we've implemented a forum for that. We have a project manager where you can assign tasks. I'll show you demonstrations of all this stuff, so I'm just going to briefly jump through this. Where they can go in and they can assign tasks to people. They can create a document together and that sort of thing. We put our news out through it. We manage our subscriptions for alumni and so on, and then help desk support requests and stuff. We're building into it. The other point that I wanted to make was we could use things like Facebook, Twen, Simplicity, campus stuff, Twitter, that sort of thing. But really what we want to do is bring all the information into one place and sort of consolidate this stuff. Mash up of information where we can pull things from other places and provide it to the students without having to go, I got to go to campus to do this, and I want to check my Facebook here, and I want to go to do this, and then they just wind up being burnt out in applications and logins and all that stuff. So the other thing that this allows us to do is, because it's secure and they can log in and they have that to go to, we can start bringing APIs from some of these applications in and start pulling information from different sources and serving it up to them, so they don't have to jump to these things all the time to check. The other thing is that simple simplicity. I'm a big advocate of making applications, but making them very simple. and letting the people who are using the applications decide how it's going to work, and not me. Set up just a very brief, I just need it to be able to do this in order for it to be useful on the website. What do you think? You know, here's a simple form. Oh, that's easy, I can do that. And that's exactly what I want to hear, instead of all of this extended stuff that may confuse, will confuse most of our users. So being able to control the interface that they see is really nice, and it allows for more participation. So as you design applications and as you're going through and implementing either CMS or whatever, pay attention to the design of it, because it's a big thing. There's a book called, what was it called? Designing the Obvious by Robert Hochman, right? I bought it and read it a couple times because it's pretty good. I think it's a little bit older now, but there's some concept. Is it 07? There's some concepts in there that will really help you. Okay, so some future plans that we have for Joe. We're actually currently working on 2.0 right now. Okay, so we've learned our lessons, we've done some things, and we've said, wow, if we could redo this, we're going to do it differently. With the emphasis on the usability, because that's been the big thing that we found, is just limited amount of options for people, but still trying to get the functionality out of it. One of the most important applications that we found is a calendar and a scheduler. That's a big deal because people want to use Outlook or Exchange or whatever, but we also need to take some of that and put it into our website, and we need to be able to use it in other places for newsletters and stuff. So there's a lot of thought that has to go into that. So that's been a real big application, and it takes a lot of consideration. We also want to integrate some more popular tools like Facebook. I'm starting to work on applications that actually will go to Joe from Facebook that our students can install, and it'll bring them some information or allow them to update their profile at the law school from Facebook or import or something like that, because I think that's a big thing. There's a presentation a couple days ago where a lady from Arizona State came up and spoke, and she said, I think it was 60 or 70%, if you add it up, were a lot or some users of Facebook. So that's going to be a big thing, is being able to provide the students with tools that allow them to manage Facebook stuff or just use that as a tool. Enhanced profile management for alumni so that we can do some social networking within Joe, where alums can come on and find students. Some of them like to hire our students for their jobs wherever they may be. So being able to match students up with potential alums that have jobs, that's going to be a big thing for us. We also want Joe on the go, a mobile tool for admins. Our dean likes to roam around a lot, and he really will be at a meeting or a banquet or something. And with his iPhone, he would be able to look up the profile and see what this person is or who they are, how much they've donated, and that sort of thing. So we're going to be able to provide him those tools so that when he's at a conference and, oh, I remember your name, it's Joe. Oh, hey, how you doing? Thanks for that $1,500 gift. So we're trying to give him some tools because he really likes cool stuff like that. One of the other things too is the classroom tools, self-assessment, some simple applications where students can take notes or something like that. I know there's some software out there that currently does that, but see how we can integrate it, if there's APIs or if there's some way that we can get information in or out to the students. And again, a lot of it is just putting things in one place so that students don't have to run around and go for it, because there's a lot of stuff out there, but if we can bring it to one place for them, and that's where the mashup comes in there. Maybe we can even get twin information in there, I don't know. But that's kind of the thought process that we think we need to have to bring this to them so they don't complain about having 50 different logins, because I've heard that a lot. And then custom application development, so that, say we partnered with somebody, say we partnered with the University of Kentucky Law School, right? And they had an app that they wanted to put into it, that we would be able to allow them, kind of like Facebook, they do that, where you can Facebook application development, so we can share things among people in management and that sort of thing. So that's kind of what we're working on for Joe 2.0. So that's all the slides I have, but I just wanted to give you a quick demo of Joe and show you what it looks like, how it works, and that sort of thing, and maybe spark some ideas or some thoughts or some things from you. So let's get out of here. All right, so first thing I'm going to show you is our website. This is the College of Law website, and you can see some content on here that definitely needs to be managed from Joe. First of all, we have the news. We actually have an external relations group that will post news whenever something comes up, and it actually automatically and dynamically gets put on the website. We have a primary one, and then just a list of sub as they get put in by date. And you can see we're actually trying to facilitate community involvement by allowing them to comment on news articles. Okay, so I've heard some comments from alums. We're still trying to prod them to use it a little bit more to give us feedback, but they are using it to let us know, hey, that's a good article, or thanks, or this is great. Allows them to feel a little bit more like they're actually interacting with the school rather than just alumni who have graduated and are out. This is also a big thing that we've done is the media. We actually have an application in Joe where our media expert can go in and upload a movie file, and it actually gets encoded and spit onto our website if it's a public one, or if it's private, it stays back in Joe so that only students or faculty or staff can watch it. So this is you can kind of see we're inching kind of towards the asynchronous classroom stuff, and that's a big thing, and that's going to have to definitely be planned. But we do have the ability to just encode videos that students can download onto their iPod through iTunes or come to the website and watch it if they've missed it. And this is our dean speaking at a symposium. So anybody can pop onto our website and watch the video of the presentation if they weren't there or if they're from somewhere else. Actually, let me pause the music. So,
over the past 15 years, I've been working in various national contexts to improve the performance of judicial systems.
So that's what we're doing, providing that media. That's all in iTunes U, and that's all automatically done through Joe, so that it's easier for us to manage. Because encoding and posting it on the website and having to go into iTunes and do that would have been a nightmare. And then something we're messing with that we've had mixed results with is blogs. That's why it's towards the bottom. We're trying to encourage faculty to be professionals and blog about what they know about and put it on our website. All of that is done through Joe, so it allows them to log in at any time, create a blog, and then start talking about it. We currently don't have any measure of, policing this right now, mainly because we want to encourage people to use it. But as it comes up, we might have a holding bin for posts or something like that, just to make sure nobody's posting. And yes, on the comments, we do get spammed a lot, but that's the price you pay. We have a CAPTCHA system on there, and it still gets busted. So it's just one of the things. Okay, so I'm going to log into Joe. And this is our login page. Now, how they authenticate is we actually have Exchange and database. So what we're doing is we're actually hitting, with their user account, we're hitting the Exchange. Do they have an account? Yes or no? If it is, that will authenticate them. If not, it just does a database. It just checks their password, makes sure that we encode it so that matches and let them in. But we're also working on LDAP, which our campus as a whole has. They have a UNID, and then they have the password there that would allow them in too. So we're still working on different methods of that. Okay, so here's Joe. I'm going to go through this really quick and show you some things. You can see it's pretty simple. It's the content area and then a menu on the side. Again, we're trying to keep things easy for people. So some of the things that we've got in here is a project manager, like I said before. And this actually allows students to go in and add people to a project. Just auto-population, so they start typing the name. And this is all done with Scriptaculous. It's an auto-completer. Give them contributor, and I will send them an email. So now Wes, who is sitting right there, he's now part of my project. Welcome, Wes. And what we can do now is go in, can add a goal for Wes. I'm going to give him a goal of turning in the paper, picking a date for it, and saving it. So this is something that they can use to, I don't know if they're writing a paper or doing a project together, but we're also on the flip side, we can allow alumni in, and if there's something that the dean wants to work with alumni for projects or something like that, they can do that too. And if they want to collaborate on a document, we can actually type in a document and save it, and anybody else can now come in here and actually edit this document. So it's kind of a wiki, but only people that are involved with the project, so they can collaborate on this document. So this application is about 90% done. It's not quite finished yet, but you can kind of see where we're going with it. One of the other applications that they have is access to their network drive. we don't allow them to access or to VPN. And so faculty that need to get files or something will actually come to this website. This demo user doesn't have an account, so I can't show you, but they can actually access their network files like they were sitting on the network. So it provides this tool to them online so they can upload, they can download, they can change their files from the web rather than having to VPN or do anything, because as soon as you start talking like that, students go, what? So we're providing it on a web application for them. Blogs, again, we're trying to use blogs. So oh, bad Mac. There we go. Okay, so we're trying to facilitate the use of blogs. And you'll see there's a common theme behind things like blogs and events. There's a title, there's a body, and there's some sort of tag structure to it. And you'll find that's a common theme. And once you identify things like that, it really helps you build new pieces to it. Because what's the difference between a blog and a web page and some media? I mean, really descriptive speaking with the data, there really isn't. You know, it has a title, it has a subject, it has an identifying string, and then a body of text. So we're applying that throughout Joe with code reusability and stuff. So to create a new blog, tests blog. I want it to be public, and this is a cool blog. Save the blog. Okay, so I've just created a blog, and now on our website, under blogs, actually I have to put a post in there. Let's do that first. So I'm going to make a post. Cool, online. So again, with the form, we're trying to keep it simple for them, just 4 things to enter, and then this familiar Microsoft Word interface for them to do different things with the text, and a big old save entry button. And now, once they've made a post, it actually shows up, and it's online automatically. So those are some of the things that we're doing to facilitate. It's really hard to convince faculty to do this. It's really hard. And you can see we've tried to make it super easy. All you do is click a button and have to type in the title, but they still kind of kick about it. But when they finally come around and they say, because inevitably what happens is, you know, I talked to a colleague and he's got a blog. Can I get one? Well, absolutely. Just for you, we've created one. And it's happened a couple times. So that's nice. So we're slowly getting into it. It's more of a time issue for them, and they always want someone else to do it. But we're getting around that. Okay. So one of the crown jewels, like I said, with emphasis, was our calendar and event scheduler. And we're going to recode this. So what I'm showing you is kind of old, and it's not quite doing the trick because it needs to be more simple, but it needs to do more, obviously. And that's the hard part. So we've got a calendar, and we're working on it that has all of the stuff: classes, events. People are logging in. They're seeing what happens at night. We've got all-day stuff. So we're trying to make it look a little bit like Exchange calendars and that sort of thing. But this actually, the reason why we need to have it in Joe is we have an RSS feed with all of the events on it that is published, that the university uses, that we use across different applications. That if you said in my Dan presentation, we use it on our digital display signs to put a schedule of events so we don't have to go in and update it. So there's a lot of things that we're doing with this that need to be in here. And then also allowing students, alums, faculty, everybody to be able to come in and schedule an event without having to go to an Exchange calendar for each room and see what's going on and have to use all that. Plus it's on the web so they can access it from home. So,
is it a custom application that you guys created?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It's not feeding any from anything else?
No, we're working on importing XML for one of the things, 2.0, the next version, what we want to do is to interface with our Exchange server so that if we're showing events on here and vice versa, that we can somehow mash them together and do that. It shouldn't be too difficult. I think 2007 or whatever, we'll put out XML now and do RSS. So we just need to look at it. So they can come on here and look at this, but they can also go in and look at a room schedule. And this is probably one of the more popular apps. Let's look at a different day, see what's going on. So they can pick what rooms they want to see, what calendars they want to view, and it'll actually show them an hourly thing in here so they can kind of quick look, hey, what's going on? I need a room, because everybody freaks out and says, there's somebody in my room, I need a room that can hold 20 people. What's open right now? Okay, well, you could go to BCR, CHC, Howell, one of these, but you can't go into 105, 106, 107, so it's just a quick view that we're giving them. And again, this feeds from the same information that's on our calendar, feeds from the same information that goes on our website. It's all the same, and it's all in one spot for them. So that's one of the nice things. And then the simple event doesn't look so simple, I know. There's a lot of stuff to fill out, but we're going to be removing things like contact will be automatic, categories and themes will be gone, type will be gone, and we're going to stick to tags. And that's one thing that we found is probably the best thing we could possibly do is with tags. So they can create new calendars, they can create new categories, they can create anything just by adding a tag. And it's how the help desk actually runs their stuff with their knowing stuff, blogs, between their news and stuff, is they'll just change the tag structure. And then what we do in our queries is we just break up the tag string and then find what matches that. It's not perfect, it's a little flawed because if a word is contained within another word, obviously that one will show up. But it's been the most useful and the easiest. And again, we're all about the ease of use.
Can you give a sample of those tags? I don't get it.
Okay. Think of it like keywords.
Okay.
Like if I were going to say this is an event, what am I? Can would be a keyword, red would be a keyword, Coke would be a keyword. So tags, keywords, that sort of thing to help identify what that is. Okay. So if I have an event that's a birthday party, my tags would be birthday, party, errand, celebration.
Bring presents.
Presents, yeah, that sort of thing. So when I'm actually when I'm on the website and I want to say I'm interested in what kind of celebrations are going on at the school, I can query for celebration, and because it's in the tag string, I can say, oh, this birthday is a celebration. So here you go. Here's the event, or here's a blog that has it too. So you can kind of do related things just with tags. So if I have an event that's a birthday party that's a celebration.
So this is just an informational thing.
Yes.
It's not like you're adding an event and you want to schedule it in a room and a time, and it's just.
The tags are just for information, for description.
Okay.
But this whole application itself, actually, they pick time, they pick.
So
they
you do
can.
everything there. Okay.
They can do this, yeah. See, they can pick a date, what day it is, the time that it is, and then if it repeats and that sort of thing. So, I mean, this is they put all the description stuff and then also the guts behind it. When does it happen? Is it recurring and that sort of stuff. So, like I said, the calendar we found this is a hot button. They want me to do a lot with this and there's not a lot of time. So we're going to just break it down and see what they need and what they're not using and then go from there. All right, so let's jump into the directory. And this is what the alumni are using. So the alumni can log in and this is all they have access to, and it's nice because it gives them one place that they can go in and update their address information so that when we do automatic mailings, we have their latest email address or their latest actual physical mailing address if that's the case. So for example, we'll just go in and we'll query all the staff. It works pretty easy like you would think, and because there are profiles for everybody on here, everybody's listed. Let's take a look at Wes. There's his profile. A nice picture of him, his phone number, his contact information, that sort of thing. So it's pretty simple. We're trying to find ways to really integrate this with Facebook because everybody likes to put a lot more stuff on their Facebook and find a way where maybe we can say, here's your Facebook ID, click here for Facebook information. I don't know. We haven't got that far yet, but anything's possible when you're dealing with the internet. So. But that's the directory, and then you can add friends. So here's a list of friends that we have from the directory. Let's jump back here. One more. I can add Sean Anderson to my contacts, and now when I go in here, she's right here, Sean Anderson. So that's kind of what we're doing with that. Okay, and then as a demonstration of a way collaboration can go on, where an application can be created outside of us, that's what we're doing with the email here. Is actually, this is our Exchange server served up in this frame right here, this iframe, because it's not actually part of Joe, but we can display content in here and we could log in and check email and use all the tools here. So if I wanted to have Facebook application, I could actually technically have a Facebook thing in here and have a link to it and then have Facebook pop up in here. There's some difficulties and some inherent problems with doing that, so we're not addressing it as much now, but 2.0 definitely. And I know Facebook application development has that. You can either write their language or you can use an iframe and serve it from a different place. So we're trying to figure out how we can either copy that or jump onto that and use an idea like that, maybe. We'll see. Depends on how smart we are. So some help desk stuff. People can log in, and we've got a lot of support request stuff. A lot of the stuff has actually been duplicated on the website because we're trying to reduce the barriers for help desk stuff. And this is one more thing, having to log in, but it does tell us who it is. And that's the nice part about it. But they can chat with the help desk right here. We use Meebo. If you were in the help desk presentation, they talked about it. It's a free chat that you can embed on any page. So we use it for help desk stuff. We use it on our help desk website. That's meebo.com. So we use that here. And it's nice because if it's a quick question, they'll actually just come here and they'll ask a question. So we're also using it as a way for them to just get quick answers. Or if they need to submit a request, they can go in here and fill out a quick little description, and then it actually gets put into the queue. So again, more applications. Let's see, this is the popular one, is the job tools. Career services, the career services section of our website is the most popular section of our website, next to prospective students. Those two are neck and neck. So it's really telling in terms of statistics. People are really looking for jobs on our site, and we only allow our students and maybe some reciprocal students to be able to come in and look at the jobs. But in Joe, what we've provided them with is a direct port into everything LCS has put into their database. So I can come on here and I can see, oh, here's what's been added within the last week. So what we're doing for the students is allowing them to, say, click a flag and see how that lights up. Well, now when I go into my jobs, it'll actually show up. So they can bookmark and they can keep track of what they're looking at and stuff like that. And you can kind of see where this is going. In 2.0, we have plans to allow them to apply online, where it'll take part of their profile, their Vita, pull it in when they click apply, and then that will be emailed or sent somehow to the employer. So now applying for a job is a little bit easier than having to print out a bunch of copies and send them out. That if the employer is okay with it, we can send it to them here. And there's probably some policies and procedures we need to keep in mind, but that's kind of the direction that we're going with it. But this is very popular. Different categories, dates that they were posted, and that sort of thing, so they can go in and see, what the jobs are. This is quite popular. We also have forums where they can go in, just like you would think, where they can ask questions. These are restricted based on what your status is. So if you're a student, you can't read the faculty ones, et cetera, et cetera. It ties in really nicely. Alumni can see the students if they're classified as an ambassador or something, and so on and so forth. But students are getting on, they're selling books on it, they're talking about basketball, biking, whatever. Some of them are talking about class and course discussions and that sort of thing. So it allows them to come in one place and post stuff instead of we're having a problem with our open forum, which is email, where it goes out to everybody. Yeah, they really love that. They really love that, but they won't let it go. It's really weird. So we're trying to slowly funnel them here so we don't get complaints and nobody's spamming. So that's difficult. So media. We have the ability to view media. This is a professor who actually has posted some podcasts of her things. So only students can see this. This won't be on our public website. So as students, if they miss the class, I think she's got a few that are traveling or something, they can actually come into Joe and view this. But from here we also serve videos. So we've got a few here. Public. Here we go, here's a private. And then there's a couple options here. If they want to view an MP4 or a flash video file, they can do that and view the file.
This is a talk.
So we're also using it, and this was actually going to change. Well, the first presentation I went on the first day was a great idea for asynchronous learning. Was they can watch the video if they're not there, but then they can also discuss it with a forum or a chat room or something. So what better way than I could put from the forum, or maybe it's a blog, I don't know, put comments just below it so that they can talk about it. Maybe put a Meebo thing in the corner so they can chat if they're both online at the same time. I don't know. I mean, it's just, the nice thing is that when you have all these tools, you can actually then think of ways, God, how can I put this together? How can I make this a little bit more usable? And that's what we're trying to do with this, is provide them with those tools and reuse little bits and pieces over and over again, because it would go great here. We can just create a forum for this and they can talk. Profile management, I won't go into this because it's pretty obvious. If you have a Facebook or MySpace or anything like that, you know how to put a profile in and upload a picture. We provide them with that ability here. I know it's another place they're going to have to do it, and that's why I really want to say import from Facebook or something like that so that it's quick. So we're trying to utilize things that they're already using rather than recreate the wheel. But we're recreating the wheel right here. Student resources, we have the ability to create, it's a pseudo-wiki in that administration can edit this, anybody in administration, but students can't, they can just view it. So what this is a student handbook in this example, where if there's some scholarship information, instead of emailing out to everybody a Word document or PDF, we can actually put it on here and they can go in and search for it and look at it, and then administration can change it as they see fit. So if criteria changes or the amount changes or something, they can update it here, and then when the students look at it, they'll see it's been updated. So it's really not that different than a themed blog. So they go in, they create a document, and it's got...
What order is posed in? It didn't look like they were in alphabetical order.
I think it was in order that they added them. This is a new app for us. We're trying to figure out how they're going to utilize it. This will eventually be ported to our website, but we haven't done it yet, and we need them to get some stuff together. It's probably just in random order right now. It's kind of silly, but the thing is they could filter it out and type,
okay, right.
I'm typing grading, and it filters automatically for searching. So, this is an example of another application. And then content management. Hey, all right, you got it to at last, where they can actually, the faculty or the staff, or whoever's responsible, can actually go in and edit the page. And this will reflect the changes on the website immediately, and they're responsible for it. So these are some things that we're doing. And actually, just to bring it up, this looks like the blog form, doesn't it? Title, tags, and a body. So when you can kind of see, you start to see a lot of similarities between different bits of data. It's more in how you use it and what you're calling it rather than... So content management systems, when you start saying, well, how can I use this in other places? There's really not a lot of difference between a blog and a web page. Title, tag string, and a thing. So you can reuse a lot of code or implement it in just a different way and utilize it in that sense. So that's what we've done, and that's what's... We've got one developer, and we did this in a year. Mainly because when you plan it out right, and you do it right, you see a lot of similarities, and you can just kind of re-implement and change and do that. And it really saves a lot of time. It really saves a lot of brain power, and you can save it for the really difficult things like calendars and the crazy stuff like digital display things that have nothing to do with law school. So that's just a little sample of Joe and what we've got. It all ties in here. Like I said, you saw me add the blog, and all of this stuff works where if they get into the blog, we have Rss feeds that they can subscribe to. They can email the page to their friends. So we're also trying to introduce some of these tools, add it to Facebook, Dig. I don't think anybody's using that. It's just not, people don't know in academics really what some of that stuff does. But we'll put it out there and see how it works. So the nice thing about it is that we can put it out there, see if people are using it. If not, we can pull back on it and put something more useful in that spot. So.
My question is a two-part question.
Uh-huh.
The first part is, what is utilization like among your user base? And the second question is, how have you marketed this to them?
Okay. The first question, the utilization is actually, among faculty staff, it's very high. Because we've declared this is the room scheduling. This is how they update their webpage. And then also with the job stuff and that sort of thing, the students are really using it for that. As we develop more useful tools, the first step, like I said, this was developed as an administration content management tool. That was the first thing. So that's really where it's strong. Where it's not strong is student tools to allow them to study, and that's where we're trying to go with the project manager and maybe some self-assessment tools or that sort of thing. So among faculty, staff, administration, and alumni, it's high. Among students, we're trying to get them in. And a lot of them are using it for the forum and that sort of thing, but not so much for the profile. And that's why I want to put Facebook stuff in there, because they're not putting a lot of profile stuff in there, but I'm buddies with about 150 students on Facebook. And I know they've got profiles, and I know they'd do it if it was as easy as clicking a button. How we're getting it out there is we're talking a lot about it. It's actually part of the 1L presentation when they come in. I'll get up and tell them about it and say, here's what it is, and here's how you can use it, and here's some things. use it to view videos and that sort of thing. So it's one of those things where people are curious to use it. As soon as they hear about it, they often use it. And starting, was it this year, the 1Ls? They actually, yeah, so we started with the 1Ls this year, and actually we put them in there and put it as part of the presentation. So as we start going and expose it to them more, we get a lot of feedback. They'll use it in some limited sort of way, and as we put more tools in there, I think there'll be a lot more adoption. But our dean is very technical. I mean, he really likes technology and wants to integrate it. So there's a lot of the thunder from above saying, use it and give them feedback, because otherwise you're just going to do it all manually and you're going to hate it. So we got a lot of support from him. That helps a lot. So try to convince your dean. Any other questions or anything? Okay. Go ahead.
Do you have departmental tools, like say a career development office? Do they have special tools that they only have access
Yes.
to?
Yes, I logged in as a demo onto Joe, so you only saw a limited amount of applications. But depending on who you are, you have access to administration. There's a whole course tools that allows you to log in, add a course to the schedule, and actually it powers our, let's see here, our course schedule. So we can do this, and we have to do our own instead of use campuses, just because we do it in a different way. I don't know what it is. Our registrar just told us that it was this way. So the registrar's office actually comes in here, adds the schedule. So from here, students looking at this actually can view the book list if it's been uploaded, and they can see what books they need. If there's been a syllabus uploaded, they'll have the syllabus that they can download. So Professor Martinez has his up there. And then also a reading list or their first assignment. So combining information. The faculty are the ones that are uploading their reading list, their book list, and their syllabus, or the secretary. The registrar is actually putting in the law, 7700, the course, who's teaching it, and the credits, and that sort of thing. So we're pulling in information from different places. So yes, LCS has access to just manage the job list and add new ones. The registrar has access to put these things in there. So there's little bits and pieces of applications that are specific to the departments. Not everybody has access to them. So
Did you say student grades are on the system?
student grades are not on this system.
That's more of a secure
That's,
application.
yeah, we're trying to figure out how we can work with campus to maybe provide them easier access.
That's centralized in the whole campus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all in central campus. They have to log into their information system and get into that and do this and do that. They're starting to break down the data walls on campus a little bit. We're seeing it's a lot less strict than it was 2 years ago when I started, but there's still a lot of stuff that they're just, we don't want you to have access to this.
Are there any central tools are any tools central to your campus?
On here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We're actually, we gave a quick demo on campus, and there was some interest because they really want to kind of go into the social networking and provide blogs and stuff, and they don't have an automated way to do it right now. They've got hodgepodge of systems everywhere. So we're actually putting together a task force for not necessarily just a content management system, but like this, I don't even know a name for it, like collegiate management system is what I've been calling it, to provide faculty from all over the ability to blog and have a central place for blogs.utah.edu or something. So there's been a lot of talk on campus on how to utilize that, because there's a lot of smart people on our campus, and we'd like to be able to get information out to others and share and help and that sort of thing. So.
Now you wrote all this in MySQL and ASP, right? So
You got it.
It really, this kind of system requires someone with your level of basically a programmer.
Correct.
To
Yeah, to
run
be
this
able,
stuff.
yeah.
Otherwise you have to buy something.
Right, and that's, you know, where's the you know, it's expensive to hire somebody, but it's also expensive to get software that nobody really knows how to use.
Right.
So you could buy something and put it in place, and for some people it will really work. But as you want more functionality and want more applications, you either have to go buy modules or download or have somebody. So you start to see you're going to need somebody as you want to get more advanced anyway, who might be of a higher level or be able to program or so on and so forth. And I firmly believe a very strong programmer, somebody who knows what they're doing, is worth every penny. Because I'm trying to hire some help, and we put out the job application description, and can't find anybody. Actually, we did find somebody. He's sitting right there. But so that's very difficult to find somebody who's that good. But they're worth it. They're worth every penny, I think. Anybody else have any questions? Comments? Concerns? ideas? Yeah.
Are you ever gonna look to sell this to other people, or
Well,
share it with
the
other people?
dean's got some ideas that he's starting to roll around, and one of the things that we learned from our DAN project, which is our display, if you sat in on it, was kind of the shared server programming rather than allowing a bunch of different people to install something different. Mainly because you can control a little bit better, and it facilitates better sharing. Because if everybody's got different installations, you can't share stuff as much because you don't know what's compatible with what. So one of the thoughts we had was to allow, say, BYU, which is just south of Salt Lake. If they want to use some of the tools, we can just create them in instance or a network, and then actually we can start sharing stuff between the two. Ideas, blogs, maybe files, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on how creative you are or what information you have. So it's a thought. But
You'll still be hosting, you mean?
yeah, it would be hosted on a central server.
And your server, they would be logging into your stuff, and having their data on your.
Wouldn't be my server, it'd probably be the school. But yeah,
Schools,
but yeah.
I don't mean your person, but I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can think of it like MySpace, Facebook, all this other web-based. Everybody's moving to the web. I mean, everybody's moving away from desktop apps and they're moving to the web. And there's, I'm not against open source. I'm not for it. I'm not against closed. I'm not for closed. I just want to find the best tool for the best job. And if that means, hosting and maintaining some applications to make it easier for the end users, that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make something that's going to make my life easier. I'm trying to make something that's going to make everybody else's life easier. And that's my job, is to provide you the tools so that you can get in and manage your class or manage your data or something like that. So being able to provide a server that I can do this on to help everybody else is better than saying, here you go, there's your installation, good luck. And being really lame on the help support, that sort of thing. What version are you using? Well, how did you install it? What database are you using? I know that, and I can fix it where I am. And that's kind of how I've been going. I'm really kind of agnostic to language and that sort of thing. We just want to make the tools the right ones. So.
Was there an existing CMS that you thought of modifying, or why do this?
Yeah. No. At the time that I started this, again, it was just something simple, and I didn't want to. My budget was like $300. I didn't have a budget really. I've created my own now, but I needed something simple, and I had one from a previous job that I'd done myself, not like stealing it from a job. I had my own that I use. So basically, what I did is I took it and just stripped it down and kind of implemented it as Joe for myself, but it just exploded. I mean, as soon as people found out that they could log in and update their stuff, all the requests for all of these apps just started trickling in. And we found utility in that and being able to customize applications for the people using them. And that's why I've used things like WordPress and what's the other one? I don't remember the name. But to try to see. But sometimes for other projects that I've had outside of the law school, I've had to strip them down so much because people are afraid of options. They freak out. And sometimes it's just not worth going through and taking out select buttons and automatically populating them when I can do it. It's pretty easy. There's a lot of code that I can reuse or update or take a script from here and put it out there. And that's where I'm saving time and saving money, to hire some more help and that sort of thing. So I'd considered it, but just being able to control that environment is key. But that's not to say that you couldn't take a content management system and update it. Some people do very, very well with that. It just depends what you're looking for. So, anybody else? Groovy. Well, thank you for your time. Hopefully it was interesting and helpful for you. Let me put my email address up here just in case. I love to collaborate. I love to help. I love to get new ideas. And I always check my email. So this is my email address. My name's Aaron, and this is our website. So if you have any thoughts or questions or whatever after this, drop me a line. So, and if you want to ski, come out to Utah. We got an extra room. So, thanks. I know.
Honestly, I thought I was going to stop by and develop a community reservation, still studying just that, so it's only 6 years. Except that, well, you know, compared to this, like, wow.
You're able to open it up.
It's probably the start of season. Yeah. So,